Hey everybody, this is my 40-gallon Waterfall tank, and today we're going to do something a little different. I've been thinking about what kind of fish I would like to add to this tank. I've gone to PetSmart a couple of times now to pick up a few more of these bright yellow guppies, and it occurred to me that I could actually add some native fish to this tank that would really pop. You know, I'm always talking about this LED floodlight I have and what beautiful color rendering it gives me. Well, we have a little local species of fish around here called the Rosyside dace, and it is a little minnow. It doesn't get very big, maybe 3 inches, and it is absolutely beautiful. It's got this red stripe down its side, and it's got blue colors on it. So it's a really pretty fish for a local cold water species, and I know they live in the stream across the street. So today's video is not going to be too dramatic. We're just going to take a run down the street, and I'm going to walk up the stream a little ways, and we're going to get the minnow trap thrown out. I'll leave it out there for a day or two, and we'll get back in here, or get back out there, I should say, and check it in another day. So this is just going to be a little trip down the street and a little brief walk up the stream. So give me a minute to get ready, and I will see you down the street. Alright everybody, this is where I would normally throw the trap out if I was trying to catch some crayfish. So today I just wanted to walk over here and have a look. The water's really clear. I don't see a whole lot of activity though. I don't see a bunch of fish swimming around, and I don't see any crayfish out. It's not unusual in the summertime. You come down here and you'll just see large crayfish just lying out on the sand, but I don't see any today. Oh, okay, I can see a little school of fish down there in the deeper water, but that's it. Alright, well that's not where we're going anyway. Where we're going is upstream. This guy here owns all this property, and he has very kindly allowed me to do my thing here, as long as I'm respectful of his property and don't litter and so on and so forth, which of course I don't. So there's a little area up there that I know has these fish that we're looking for swimming in it. And if you look carefully, you'll see little schools of small fish darting around. Thought about bringing my fishing rod. There's a couple spots where there's relatively deep holes, and I might be able to pull a few chubs out of it just for fun. But I think if I go fishing today, I'd rather grab the kayak and go out to Pretty Boy. Let's see if we can't sneak up on any. I can see a bunch of little fish swimming around in there. If we catch any of those, I might keep some. They are some sort of Notropis species. They look very much like black-nosed dace, but I'm almost sure they are not actually black-nosed dace. They just look very similar. And if you look up Notropis species, you'll see that there's a dozen or more species that look very similar and could all basically be that same thing. So I don't know what it actually is that I catch in here, but they only get about this big. So if we catch a few of them, they might come home with us too. I can already see a bunch of little fish running out ahead of us. So right under, see all these fish in here? See, I can see some bright glimpses of red. There's little red stripes over there. So I was right, this little spot has some of these fish in it. So we're going to go ahead and throw this out. It's the second one I've seen come up out of the water now. I'm not sure. Oh, there's little bugs on the surface, and they're coming up and they're striking the bugs. So normally I suspend my bait inside this so they can't get it from the outside, but my little contraption I have in there that suspends it is missing, so today we're just going to throw this out as is and see what happens. I'll just leave that over here, and it looks like somebody's already kindly left me a stick in the ground to tie off to. Came past here the other day and there was a bunch of kids back here playing, so it was the Memorial Day weekend. I assume he had family in from out of town. I can actually see, and I want to walk up here and have a look at this. I'm not sure why he's got that tied off, unless the kids were using this as like a little swimming hole and he didn't want that sharp spike. You know, it is kind of hard to see. You can see a bunch of those little Rosyside dace in there. So that's probably all that is he was doing that to protect the kids. I know it's hard to see, but there's a little waterfall that splashes in right there from a spring that flows in across the street, flows all the way down and comes in. So beyond this tree, it is a different neighbor who very much does not want me walking in their property. So they've made that very clear in the past. So we will turn around, head on back, and again tomorrow we'll come back and check this out. You can already see a bunch of them swimming around looking at it. I bet if I came back in an hour I'd have fish in it. But how many and what kind would be the question. See, there might even be a fish in it by now. Nope. But I'm pretty sure when we come back tomorrow, or again possibly later this afternoon, we'll come back down. They're all going after the bread. They want it. They just haven't figured out how to get to it yet. So this is definitely looking very promising. All right, I'm going to leave them to it, walk back to the truck. So I was going to shoot just a video of putting it out, and then we could come back tomorrow, but I think I'm going to come back in about an hour and see what's going on. So you hang tight. I'm going to go home, get some lunch, and we'll come back and see if we've got anything in that trap for this afternoon. And we're back. So it's been about an hour and a half now, and I'm guessing we've probably got something in the trap by now. I did bring a bucket with some water from the house, and I brought salt water this time. That right there is one of those white sucker fish. Again, I don't know how well any of this is coming out on camera. That's another one of those white sucker fish. And then the rest of those look like those brown striped fish, the ones that I said look like a black-nosed dace but are not. At any rate, when I keep an all native fish tank, I'm not so worried about bringing home ick or something like that, because frankly the fish are very easily replaceable. Whereas in this case, I've got my gourami and I've got other fish that I really want in this tank, so I'm not going to put these fish in quarantine, but in case they have anything simple like gill flukes or anything like that, a little bit of salt water for 15 minutes will really help get rid of a lot of that. Now that's really disappointing. There was a huge cluster of them sitting right in front of the mouth of it, but it looks like none of them have actually gone in. I don't see a single fish in the, oh yeah, there is at least one inside the trap. All right, well, let's pull that out and see what's going on. There's no more bread. I didn't even think to bring any more bait back. And this doesn't look like one of the species I was hoping to catch. It's not, and it's very pregnant too. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and throw this back out here because they were clearly treating it as though it was some sort of cave. And I think just over time, oh, that's a really cool looking fish. I wish I'd have brought my dip net. That looks like a little darter. So let's throw this back in out there. And I did bring a little tiny net. Let's see if we can actually, I think it just darted. Well, I guess let's look at what we've got first. I think this is just another one of those brown, come on, there you go. Yeah, that's just another one of these. And as I said, she was very pregnant. So this this is the net I'm going to attempt to catch that little darter with if we can find it again. I know it moved, but it's still in here somewhere, I'm sure. Of course, I don't see it anywhere now. I wonder if I scared these fish, if they would dart into what they think is a cave to hide. Oh, I really would have loved to have caught that little fish. I don't know what it was. I'm assuming it was a darter. It was lying on the bottom. It was about 2 inches long, really slender. It reminded me of a gara. And I just don't see it now. But again, you know, that's what we were going to try to catch it with. This is the only net I could find at the house in quick notice. I either had this little thing or I had my great big one. I kind of wish I'd have brought my big one now. See, all of these fish out here, that's all of them are what I want to catch. And not a one has gone in that trap yet. Alright, well, we'll come back tomorrow and see what happens, and then we will definitely bring some bait back tomorrow to put in there because all that bread's completely gone now. Alright, you win some, you lose some. So, thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you subscribe, that way you won't miss my update tomorrow when we come back and check and see if there's anything else in it. So, thanks again. I'll see you real soon in the next one.